Is that better? Okay. Our game is called Soil Adventures, and I'm Ava Mae Yates, and I worked on the wetland part of our game. Our game has 4 different sections, so I'll hand over the mic so everyone else can introduce themselves.
My name is Julia Lateo, and I worked on the forest portion.
My name is Sonia Riley, and I worked on the High Tunnel Garden, and we all contributed to the farmland, so that's one we'll share today. Before we continue with our presentation, we wanted to acknowledge that the land the Hort Farm resides on, where the data in this game comes from, belongs to the Western Abenaki people. For hundreds of years, the Abenaki people lived peacefully on this land before they were forcibly removed by European settlers. UVM respects the indigenous knowledge interwoven in this place and works to uplift indigenous peoples and cultures present on this land and within our community. So we wanted to create an interactive soil sampling game modeled after the real-life testing we did at the Hort Farm, using the 4 different locations we tested at. And we wanted to educate others on the importance of soil health through this game and to serve as a precursor if you wanted to sample your own soil, for example, if you wanted to sample your garden. How do you know if your garden is healthy? One of the best indicators of garden and plant health is the health of the soil. If your soil is healthy, then your plants are also much more likely to be healthy as well. So then, how do we know if soil is healthy? That's the real question. And to find out, let's get testing. But first, pick your character. Judges, what character would you like? Farmer. Farmer. And we'll pick farmland because that's the one we all worked on. Many different crops are grown in the farmland. The soil is dry, crumbly, and thin. It's time to select a soil sample test kit. You can take a second to look and then tell us your decision. Yes.
I'll take one.
The phone camera is an excellent way to capture images of the soil of your sample and your location. Correct. This kit is to the proper scale and contains the correct tools for taking a small soil sample. You complete a test that collects the data onto your mobile device. At the farmland location, the moisture is B, which is on a scale from A to D, so that's pretty in the middle. The pH before and after remains at 7. The microbial biomass count is 849. The fungi to bacteria ratio is 1.8 to 1. The MEC range is excellent, and the F to B range is mid to above.
So now we're going to head back to the lab. Would you like to choose your mode of transport?
Absolutely
oil. Okay. Solid choice. It's all natural. We also have 3 test kit options, so you can just look that over really quick and decide which one you think is the best option. Okay. So the 50 milliliter test tube is a really good way to hold your soil sample while you're in the field. And that was correct. It's really important that you use sterile water, because if you don't use sterile water, you might mix up your test results by having unwanted materials such as bacteria or microorganisms in there. So we just got the test results for that. The farmland has depleted nitrogen, adequate phosphorus, very adequate potassium, and a pH of 6.
All right, now let's look at all the data that we've collected. So take a second, and what do you notice? Did you catch the depleted nitrogen in the farmland soil? Overall, the soil is very healthy, but this will be key to giving it an extra boost. Now that we know the health of the soil, what can we do to improve it? The soil is depleted of nitrogen, so one step to creating healthier soils could be to plant legumes, such as beans, which fix nitrogen in the soil. Another step could be to use an inoculant, such as the inoculant from Full Circle Microbes, which breaks down plant biomass into usable fertilizer. How is the lack of nitrogen fixed in the soil? According to the Oklahoma State University Extension's, legumes, such as beans, help increase nitrogen in the soil by creating a symbiotic relationship with ribosome bacteria. In this relationship, the bacteria builds nodules in the roots, and the organisms work together to collect nitrogen from the atmosphere. So, what is a soil inoculant? According to the Full Circle Microbes, An inoculant contains microorganisms like bacteria and fungi that break down organic matter into nutrients, which can be used as a fertilizer to grow new plants. Congratulations, you have finished our game. During your play, you have learned how to collect and test soil samples and the importance of testing your soil.
So one of the strong points that our team had was a really cohesive group dynamic from the beginning, and we were really excited to learn and grow together as we built this project. And from the beginning, we also had a really clear idea of where we wanted our goal to go and how we wanted our game to develop.
For all of us, I think the most challenging thing was learning how to use this app that we created our game in, Figma. None of us have a graphic design background, so learning all the tools that the app uses was something that we worked through together.
And overall, we have improved our game and teamwork skills. Thank you. To finish off, we would like to thank everyone for giving us this amazing opportunity. We'd first like to thank the UVM AgroTek staff, Liz, Sarah, and Scott, for making this amazing program for young students like us to have opportunities we wouldn't be able to get anywhere else. We'd also like to thank our mentor, Stevie, for supporting us through our journey in AgroTek. Next, we'd like to thank our counselors and mentors from Game Theory, Shannon and Marguerite, for inspiring us and helping us in creating our game. They helped us take our ideas and put them all together to make one informative and fun game. And finally, we would like to thank Gianna and the Full Circle Microbes team. While in the lab, Gianna helped us gather the necessary information to make our project possible, but she also made it fun and engaging for us to learn and experiment with new technologies we would never have imagined we'd get the opportunity to use.
Okay, I think that's it. We'd like to open up for any questions you have about our game or our process.
Like to play the game.
We were thinking that we could use it for anyone who was going to sample their soil for soil health. So if you're a gardener and you want to test your soil, this would be a great way to get familiar with the process before you actually test.
We just thought that it would be cool to make it fun for people. If you select the wrong answer, we can show you. It kind of it will redirect you. So the goal of the game is to educate people on the correct tools to use when you're sampling your soil. So say we had chosen a correct answer. So our goal is just to educate people on the correct way to do it. So we kind of give some fun options just to let everybody know that like soil sampling can be fun. And we just wanted to make it educational, but also something that would excite people about learning about soil health.
What did you learn about soil health? Sounds like you learned a lot about constructing the game and the app and so forth. What did you learn about soil health that you didn't know?
That question. I'm not someone who's had a lot of gardens or anything, so I think it was cool to be able to look at the scientific side of things and how the actual levels of different things in the soil really affect how your plants will grow. So we went out in my group, we went into the wetlands. That was where we went, and we were like able to test. We took a sample and we tested like the nitrogen and the phosphorus and all things like that. And that is like really interesting because that's something like we often add to the soil and fertilizer. So it's cool to learn about how that can be applied for anybody. It was really simple to take like a little sample and test it with like a little test kit, and it was actually pretty easy to find out what levels we were at in our wherever area we were testing. So I think that we thought that it would be cool to take that and put it into a game to make other people aware of the fact that it was really easy.